flames, he says.
Flames?
What's going on, guys? It's Kane over at Bavarian Rennsport. Today's episode, we got a BMW XM coming in for some H&R lowering springs. Next up, we got a Porsche Macan getting PPF installed on the front hood. Last but not least, we got a Lamborghini Aventador coming in for repair on the belts and pulleys due to the belt getting chewed up. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
At Bavarian Rennsport, we're all about making your car perform and look at its best. Today, we're working on a 2023 BMW XM. The client came to us with a specific request, installing H&R lowering springs to give his XM a more aggressive stance and improved handling. Let's take a closer look at what the job involves. So the client had previously tried installing these springs elsewhere, but the job wasn't done correctly, leading to a clicking noise and unsatisfied customer. That's where we come in. Our team specializes in precision installations, ensuring every component is fitted perfectly. For this job, we'll be removing the old setup and installing the H&R lowering springs with meticulous attention to detail. Lowering springs aren't just about looks. They improve handling by lowering the car's center of gravity. But installing them requires expertise. Our team carefully removed the existing suspension components, ensuring no damage was done to the XM's advanced hybrid system. With the old components out, we installed the H&R lowering springs, aligning them perfectly to avoid any issues. These springs are designed to provide a sportier ride without compromising comfort, and our team made sure that they were installed to manufacturer specifications. Once everything was in place, we performed a thorough quality control check to ensure that there was no clicking noises or any other issues.
Hey guys, it's Dara here with Media Made Fresh. If you like the video that you're watching today and you have a business that needs help telling your story, check us out, MediaMadeFresh.com.
So this Porsche came in today to have a PPF film done on it. PPF is going to stand for paint protection film. Basically what it's designed to do is help you from things that are going to be actually things that come up on your vehicle in the road. So rocks, debris. Sometimes people think that, oh, I'll wrap my car and it'll protect my paint. It's not going to protect your paint. The rock chips will go right through that 2mm film, right to your paint, and you'll have not only you'll have a hole in your wrap, you'll have a hole in your paint as well. Other reasons that you're going to get paint protection film is going to be UV damage. So you'll see as we get closer up on the paint, you'll see where this was actually been protected before, but the owner decided to just do a half hood as opposed to the full hood, because really 70% of the time most of your damage is going to come up here. The other 30% of the time it may come back here. Do the wave first.
Oh, let's go.
You can actually see a significant difference on this, where you can see it's almost like a brighter, it almost looks like it's right off the factory floor. It gives you that nice finish. And then you can see where the sun damage has just beat this paint to death. The other thing we were kind of talking about earlier, when you're trying to be on a budget with some things and you're just like, hey, let's just do a half the hood because that's going to protect me from 70% of the damage. But you can see there's about a 3-inch difference max between you not being protected and being protected, where you got your first rock chip. And it's almost like you can see they were either always on the highway and all the rock chips either protected on down here and it just completely destroyed their hood up here. So in this instance, this would have been somebody that would have been 5 years down the line going, I should have just got the whole hood protected as opposed to just the front.
reason why earlier I was flushing this, I said like 2-3 times, is because if you look, especially with this being a 2015, nobody ever thinks to clean behind the emblems, so you want to make sure you get all that good. And if you look down here, you don't see any dirt specks.
As soon as the value exceeds the cost, that's when the customer is like, hey, you know what? It makes sense to do it that way. So once we run through this whole spiel, just letting them know what to expect in the future, because that's what they're doing. They're protecting this for the future. You're not protecting this for today. Once we show them the difference between getting their whole hood done and not getting their whole hood done and kind of explaining the difference in cost and what they get, once they kind of explain, knowing that you could have just spent a little bit more to protect the entire hood to avoid all of those little paint issues. I mean, you tell somebody that and they're like, oh man, for 50 cents a day, I could have protected the paint. I mean, I do a lot of stuff with 50 cents a day.
You wouldn't buy a cheap car seat, would you?
Never. Exactly. Not even one time.
We're all finished here with this 2015 Porsche Macan. We did the partial hood, which is a 24-inch hood. It had a hood on it previously. We removed that, and what we did was we replaced it back to the original line. You can actually see a clear difference between this. It actually looks gloss, like it's from the factory, and then up here you can see where it has faded. We made sure to cut around this to the exact, so that way you have maximum protection, but you're still able to see the Porsche symbol.
To perfect the inferences in paint, we took the whole hood off of this car to get resprayed back to factory standards, or as they say in the Porsche world, period correct. At Bavarian Rennsport, we don't just fix cars, we restore them to their absolute best. Whether it's PPF, paint protection, or performance upgrades, we treat every car like it's our own.
Hey, it's Sean and Duke from Bavarian Rennsport. We're here with this beautiful Lamborghini Aventador, and one of the pulleys broke on the belt system and ate the belt. So I just want to give you a pointer. If you have a Lamborghini Aventador, it's every 7 years, every 50,000 miles, you have to replace the belt and pulleys. In this situation, we've been servicing this car. Every time we do a service, one of the main things that we check is we check the belts. One of the things we really can't check much of without taking the belt off would be the pulleys. So in this situation, we were unable to check the pulleys during his last visit. And as he was out enjoying his car, the pulley just seized up and slipped the belt and ate it up. In this situation, he was right at that 7-year mark that it failed, and it was due for an oil change coming up. So we would have inspected it during that oil change, but we would have recommended that do the belts and pulleys. In this situation, it just happened while he was out driving. So guys, if you own a Lamborghini Aventador, make sure you get your belts checked during every oil change, and every 7 years, 50,000 miles, replace your pulleys and your belts. If you want to check this out, you can online at BavarianRennsport.com or give us a call at 904-270-9390.
We are looking at the belt here. You can see over here on this side the belt completely slipped off. As you can see, the belt is loose. There's no tension on it. So all this, we're going to need to replace these 2 rollers on both sides. This whole bracket that holds the accessories will need to be pulled back in order to replace the tensioners and install the new belt. This bracket needs to come out to get access to everything, so that's the next step that I'm working on. Now you can really see the damage. That's the belt. That is in fragments. That is not good. This is the pulley for the power steering pump. just remove it to inspect. There's some belt caught in it.
And there's just fragments everywhere in there.
Yeah. If it can't be saved, then it's gonna need a new power steering pump. Out of the way. The only thing that concerns me is when I pull the pump pulley off, you can see some fluid right on the inside of the pulley. The front seal on the power steering pump pulley could be compromised due to the belt that's trapped in there.
There's a chance that the pump is okay, but you need to check it.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to remove the strands. If I can't remove these strands, it's not safe to use this pump. Give me, 15, 30 minutes to see if I can get all this belt out of the back of the pump. This is all I pulled out so
This
far.
is off the pulley.
So the belt, what happened when the belt let go, it shredded it into a bunch of small pieces because it was misaligned with the pulleys. Alright, can you throw...
Yeah, I'm looking at like puzzle pieces, man.
This is a pulley, okay? It rotates, it spins, it holds the belt. As for a pulley, you give me a freaking belt. I'm like, bro.
You want this banana? After this, Duke is gonna try and edit some pictures.
Yeah, right. I'm looking at the seal. I got all the belt out, so the piece of belt could have been just putting pressure on the seal. The pump feels fine as I'm rotating it. There's no binding issues. That's what I was concerned about, but the pump feels fine. I'm looking at the seal inside, in the back. All the pieces of the belt have been removed, so I think there's a good chance that it will be okay, but I won't know until I put the new belt on and fire her up. Alright, now that other piece on top of the flux capacitor, the gigawatt generator. Ratchet, yes sir. I had a fight last time with this for over an hour trying to get this bracket into place. No way. First time?
Don't jinx it.
He says?
Flames. You know, I've had you tell me about the flames, Duke, Kane, but not once have I actually seen flames. Oh my god.
Did they just pop out?
Yes. No, they were out.
See, I know how to make it pop.
Pop, pop, bang.
I do. I'll make them pop.
And
Massive flames.
And they just come like that stock from the factory?
Nah, we put a little spicy sauce in there. As my boy Thomas says, it's got a little spiciness to it. Stock, they sound nothing like this. This has got FI exhaust. We put an FI system in this car, when he first got it. We did the Novatech lowering springs on it. It's a pretty amazing car. We've had a lot of fun working with this client and his car and helping him live out all of his Lambo dreams. This isn't his first Lambo either, though. He had a Performante, he's had a Huracan, he's had quite a few. He's a Lambo guy.
Just doing a quality control road test, make sure the power steering's working, alternators charging, AC compressors operating properly. Vehicle's tracking straight. Everything feels solid.
Like you were saying earlier, the pulley and the belts are maintenance items that do have to be replaced, right?
Absolutely.
It's not like an if or like a, oh, I'll think about it.
No, it's a must, because if you don't, this is when you run into these type of situations where parts fail. You know, they're under a lot of pressure, under a lot of tension, and over time, you know, they do fail. Wear and tear, temperature, you know, it all depends on how you drive the vehicle too. If you're very hard on the car, then you're going to have to replace the parts a little bit more often. And if you just treat it gently.
And with all those modifications, the tolerances are a little bit lower as well, right?
Yes, sir. The more performance you have in the car, the more wear and tear you're going to put on all your components.
And that's it. After diagnosing the issue, a failed idler pulley causing the drive belt to slip off, we replaced the drive belt, idler pulleys, and belt tensioner with OEM parts. Every step was done with precision to ensure that this Lamborghini Aventador is back to peak performance. At Bavarian Rennsport, we don't just fix cars, we restore them to their absolute best. Whether it's a simple repair or a complex performance upgrade, we treat every car like it's our own. Ready to give your exotic the care it deserves? Give us a call at 904-270-9390.